odd function which does not pass through an origin. Okay, so some of the students have given me an answer. So let's see. So suppose f of x is this way.
So told you, Sudarshan, you cannot share videos, you cannot share screens. Please.
Yeah, I can. Yeah, okay. Okay, fine. So fx is equals to, suppose is 1 by x. Okay, fx is equals to 1 by x. If I substitute f of x is equals I substitute instead of x minus x, this will become minus 1 by x, which is nothing but minus of fx. So this also satisfies the property of an odd function, but this does not pass through origin. This function is something like this. Okay, so basically the correct statement would be that an odd function, if 0 is in domain, then it will always pass through origin. If 0 is in domain of that function, then it will always pass through origin. Otherwise, in a broader aspect, the correct statement would be that the function, if it is an odd, it will always be symmetric about origin. So no matter what the function is, it will always be symmetric about origin. If the domain of that function 0 is there, then it will always pass through origin. Understood? So the more bigger set will be that the function will always be symmetric about origin. But if origin is a domain, then it will pass through origin. Okay? Or if x is equal to 0, if x is equal to 0 is in domain, is in the domain of the function, then it will pass through origin. Then it will pass through origin. Okay, if x is in domain, if x is equal to 0, if x is equal to 0 is in domain, then it will always pass through origin. Otherwise, the broader aspect will be that odd functions will always be symmetric about origin. That means there will be the functions will be mirror image about origin. Whatever the function is, they will be symmetric or mirror image about origin. Understood? Fine. Okay. Now let's see the next part which we were doing was transformation or different transformation of graphs. Okay. So first transformation which we have seen was the vertical shift. In the vertical shift, what we'll do? In the function, we'll add some constant or subtract some constant. Okay, so accordingly, if we'll add, the function will shift upward. If we'll subtract, the function will shift downward. Okay, and the function will be exactly same. Just the change will be that it will shift up or down. Okay, the function will shift up or down. Fine. The next transformation of the graph will be horizontal shift. So as the name signifies that in vertical shift, the shift was about x-axis, means the shift was on x-axis. Whatever the function was, suppose the function was something like this, then vertical shift was the function will shift upward or the function will shift downward. That means the shift was along y-axis. Okay. In horizontal shift, the shift will be along x-axis. The shift will be along the x-axis. For example, suppose I will take mod of x. Mod of x is a function. Suppose y is equals to mod of x. Okay. So you can think about this in a way that in the previous case where we have vertical shift, we were adding something to y. We were adding something to the value of y. Okay. For example, suppose you have y is equals to x. Okay. Y is equals to x. So what we'll do? Suppose if you add 1 to y. Okay. In this case, suppose if you add 1 to y, what will happen? That this was the original function. Y is equals to x was the original function. Now when you are adding 1 to y, what is happening? Now see, if you're adding 1 to y, I can rearrange this one and I can write y is equals to x minus 1. Y is equals to x minus 1. So what is happening? Whatever x was, instead of, suppose x is 0, so y will become minus 1. So this whole thing will shift downwards. This whole thing will shift downwards. And suppose if I'm subtracting y, 1 to 1 from y, so suppose minus 1 plus y is equals to x. So what is happening? If I rearrange, this will become y is equals to x plus 1. So what happens? This whole curve will shift upwards. So in vertical shift, I am adding or subtracting from y. I am adding and subtracting from y. In horizontal shift, what I will do, I will add and subtract. If I will add and subtract from x, I will add and subtract from x. For example, suppose you have y is equals to x. So this I can write as f of x. This I can write as f of x. This is the function in terms of x. Okay. So if in this case, if I write f of x plus a, f of x plus a, may suppose a is greater than 0. A is greater than 0. Okay. F of x plus a will become x plus a mod of x plus a. This will become x mod of x plus a. So let's try to see what is happening to this curve. In the previous example, or in the original function, it was something like this. It was something like this. Okay. The previous function was something like this. So when x is equal to 0, fx is equals to 0 or y is equals to 0. When x is equal to 0, y is equals to 0. Right. Now in this case, when this is the new y and this is the new y, okay, what should be the value of x? What should be the value of x such that this whole thing becomes 0? The value of x should be minus a. Minus a. That means when x is equals to minus a, this whole thing will be 0. Okay. So that means the whole function, the whole graph will shift a to the left. That means if I'm adding something, to arrange it, to rearrange it, and to bring it to the original form, what will happen? The whole function will shift to the left side. That means this whole thing is shifting to the left side. And how much is it shifting? It is shifting by a. Okay. If I'm adding something to x, it will, to counter it, it will shift everything in the negative. Okay. In the same case, if I subtract it, in the next page I will show, if function is f of x is equals to mod of x. So function is f of x is equals to mod of x or is equals to y. Okay. Now what I'll do, I will write x minus a. Previously I added something. Now if I'll subtract, so this will become x minus a is equals to y. Okay. Now let's see. The original function f of x is equals to mod x will look something like this. This is f of x is equals to or y is equals to mod x, right? Now when I'm subtracting something from x, just check where y will become 0. Initially y was becoming 0 when x was equal to 0. Now y will be 0 when x is equals to a. So when I'm subtracting something, it is shifting to counter it, it is shifting to right. When I was adding something to counter it, it was shifting towards left. So what happens? This whole thing shifted a towards right. So now the new graph will look something like this. Whole thing is shifted. How much units? How much? To right a. Everything is shifted a towards right. So this point has been shifted to this point. This point has been shifted to this point. This point has been shifted to this point. So every point is shifting how much units? A. So this is known as horizontal shift. Okay. Remember, if I'm adding something, it is shifting towards left. If I'm subtracting something, it is shifting towards right. Okay. This is to counter the change. In the original function. Understood? Let's take one more example, and I want you to draw the graph of this one. Yeah. In this case, one of you is asking that in this case vertical shift is happening or not. Yes, it is happening. See, suppose in this case, if I look at this one, if I'm adding, subtracting, or adding 1 to y, if I'm adding or subtracting some to y, I can think of this as shifting upward or downward. This is shifting upward or downward, right? But if I'll change it, if I'll change on the right, if I'll rate x plus 1 and x minus 1, I can see this, that this is also shifting to the right and to the left. Okay, if I think of this as a horizontal, then it will shift to right and left. So this, I think I can take this point is shifting 1 towards right and this point is shifting 1 towards left. Understood? But if I look at as horizontal, vertical, then I can check it. I can say that it is looking +1 ± up and down. Understood? Now in this case, in the mod of x, if I'll now if mod of x, I can if I'll take f of x +1 or ±1, then I can clearly see that it is upward or downward shift. Understood? But if I write x plus a, then it is 100% it's a horizontal shift. Understood? Right. I'll give you an example that will make things more clear. Suppose I will write f of x is equals to sine of x. F of x is equals to sine of x. Now tell me, I'll take an example of horizontal shift. So tell me what will the function look like when x plus pi by 2 is equals to, this will be sine of x plus pi by 2. Now this was the original function. Now this is the new transformed function. New transformed function. I want you to draw the original function first. On the same graph, on the same plot, on the same x and y axis, draw the transformed function. Okay, check how it is shifting. Okay, draw it first. I'll give you some time. Okay, so let's see. First, what I'll do, I'll draw sine x. So this is x and y axis. Sine x curve will be something like this. Okay, sine x curve. This is pi by 2. This is minus pi by 2. So for pi by 2, sine x is maximum, minus pi by 2, sine x is minimum. This is pi. Okay, now let's see. What happens is, I'm shifting, I'm making a horizontal shift, and I'm adding with x pi by 2. I'm adding with x pi by 2. So if I'm adding something, the whole graph, the whole plot, to counter it, to counter the change, the whole plot should shift, the x should shift towards the left. If I'm adding something, the total x should shift towards the left. How can you check it? How can you check it? How to check whether it is moving towards left or right? Sine of 0 is equals to 0. Sine of 0 is equals to 0. So for this to become first 0, what should be the value of x? X should be minus pi by 2. So when x is minus pi by 2, this will become 0. Sine of 0. Understood? So that means now the new change will be this. So what the function will look like? The function will everything will change towards the left. Everything will change towards or shift towards the left. So what happens? This becomes, the function becomes exactly something like this. Okay, so this part is changing towards left. So this, so just make something. So everything is shifting towards left. I will shade it a little bit so that it's more clear. Okay, so every point is shifting. So from this point it is shifting, this point shifting, this point is shifting by how much distance? Every point is shifting by pi by 2. Okay. Okay. See, if something is added to x, then just look at this. So if it is added to x, then it is a horizontal shift. If something is added to x, it is a horizontal shift. Just make a note. If something is added or subtracted to x, something is added or subtracted to x, it is a horizontal shift. If something is added or subtracted to y, it's a vertical shift. Just make a note of that, right? If something is added or subtracted to y, it is a vertical shift. If something is added and subtracted to x, it is a horizontal shift. If you can write the function something like this, it's a horizontal shift. If you can add or subtract something with y, you can write it as vertical shift. Understood? Fine. Now see, if so, why it is shifting towards left to counter the addition. We are adding something. So to counter the addition, x is changing everything towards left. Okay, x is changing everything towards left. So first, because the function cannot change, so first 0 will be for x is equals to minus pi by 2. Because adding pi by 2, so minus pi by 2. If I would have added plus pi, so this would have been changed towards minus. Everything would have been changed to minus. Okay, same thing. Let's see if you can. So same thing. Let's see if sine of x is equals to f of x or is equals to y, original function. Let's see if you can find f of x plus pi. F of x plus pi is equals to sine of x plus pi. Same thing, same exercise. Plot sine x first, and then on the same graph, draw sine pi plus x. Draw sine pi plus x. This is the original sine curve. Let's see if you can draw for sine x plus pi. Sine x plus pi. Okay, let's see. So one of you is saying it is same graph. Let's check if we'll get the same graph or not. Okay. So what I'll do, I will shift every point to the left side. Because this is addition. So shift will be on the left side. To counter it, it will move on to the negative side. So what will happen? Every point will move to the left side by how much distance? By how much? Pi. By pi. Okay. So that means this point will move towards left by pi. So this point will be this. Okay. This point will move towards left. So this is pi by 2 and this is minus pi by 2. So this point is moving this thing pi by 2. Then it will be again pi by 2. So that means this point has moved here. So that means pi by pi again. Okay, so this point has moved towards left side. This point has moved towards left side. By how much distance? Pi. Okay, I use a different marker. Okay, this point has moved again towards this side. How much? Pi. This point has moved this side. This point has moved this side. How much? By pi. This point has moved this side. How much? By pi. Okay, so that means the original function was this and the new transformed function was this. Okay, so this we are getting graphically. This new function we are getting graphically. This new part we are getting graphically. Now let's see. Using sine, we know that sine transformation. We know that sine transformation. So sine x plus pi will be equals to, what will be the value of sine pi plus x? Sine pi plus x will be equals to minus of sine x. Sine pi plus x, because x plus pi will be negative and sine curve won't change. So this will become minus of sine x. minus of sin x. If you draw this minus of sin x, what will happen? Only the sign will flip. Whatever the positive value, we will get the negative values, and whatever negative values, we will get positive values, which is exactly what we are getting. Okay, so from this also we are getting the same graph, which is something like this, and from transformation also we are getting the same graph. That means the method is correct. Everybody understood? Now see. Okay, now see. I told you now, if there is a some x, if something is added to x, then we will say that it is a horizontal shift. If it is a vertical shift, in the same graph, I'll show you the example of vertical shift. Okay, now this was example of horizontal shift. Now what I'll do is y is equals to sin x or is equals to f of x. Okay, now the example of vertical shift is the same thing. Now plot the graph of sine or f of x minus 2, f of x minus 2, or sin x, f of x minus 2 will become sin x minus 2, f of x minus 2 will be sin x minus 2 because f of x was sin x, so this will be sin x minus 2, this will be the new y. Now try to draw the graph of this. This is separate. Fx minus 2, sin x minus 2. That means what is happening? If I take 2 this side, so y is being added with 2. So now draw the graph of this. Y is equals to sin x minus 2. Fine. So let's see. If for same x is equal to 0, this will be 0, so y will become minus 2. So that means for x is equal to 0, y now will become minus 2. Okay, and for x is equals to pi by 2, y will become minus 1. So that means here it is minus 2. So whole graph is shifting how much? Minus 2 downwards. Whole graph is shifting minus 2 downwards. Understood? One more thing. Can we write this thing? This whole thing, sin x minus 2 as f of x minus 2? Can we write this thing as f of x minus 2? No. Why? Because f of x minus 2 will be sine of x minus 2. Understood? And this is different, this is different. This is the case of what? This is the case of horizontal shift, where something is added or subtracted to the x. And this is the case of vertical shift. What is happening to the original function is we are adding 2 and minus 2. We are adding or subtracting something to the function. Okay, so you understood the difference between horizontal shift and vertical shift. I hope this is clear now. Okay, fine, very good. Now see. Now these were the case of for tan x. Okay, let's see. For tan x, we'll take 2 examples: horizontal shift differently and vertical shift differently. Okay, so let's take first. We'll take fx, original function as tan x. Fx is original function as tan x. Draw separately for f of x plus pi by 2. Draw separately for x plus pi by 2 and f of x plus 2. Draw separately for f of x plus pi by 2 and f of x plus 2. Okay, let's see. And this should be the case of horizontal, and this should be the case of vertical. Let's see if we can draw these two. All right, we'll do the final example. Fx is equals to tan x. This is the curve which is given to us. First we are changing like this, and then we are changing like this. Okay, let's see if we can draw the graph for both of them. I want you to draw and just check it for both of them. Let's see if you can figure it out. But which one is which? Just use for, don't draw for whole domain. Just draw for minus pi to minus pi to minus pi by 2 to plus pi by 2. Just check for that part only. Just check for minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. For x belonging to minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Just for first part, just check for this one. Okay, don't check for the whole domain. It will be symmetric. Everything will be same. Just check for minus pi by 2 to pi by 2. Fine. So what happens with the vertical shift? Vertical shift means now everything will shift upwards. Everything will shift upwards. How much? How much? 2 units. So now where 10x, so this will be new y. So for x is equal to, so this will become 10x plus 2 equals to y. So when 10x, x is equal to 0, 10x was 0. So y will become 2 now. So this will shift upwards by how much units? 2. Everything will shift upwards by how much units? 2. So this, the graph will look something like this. Understood? So the graph will look something like this. Okay. So, so everything is shifting by 2 units. By 2 units. Everything is shifting by 2 units. Okay, fine. And for horizontal, we are adding pi by 2. So to counter it, everything will shift to minus pi, everything will shift to on the left side. So what happens now for, so this part will shift how much? Pi by 2. So at this point, this part will shift to this point, this part will shift to this point, and so on. So the function will look something like this. Okay, and on the left side, it will be set. Fine. So everything is shifting towards left by how much units? 5. Okay, so this is a classic example of vertical shift and horizontal shift. Fine. I hope now it is very clear for you to figure out which one is which, and which one is horizontal and which one is vertical. In case of y is equals to x, it is okay if you take vertical shift or horizontal shift, both will end up in getting same answer. Because it is very, because y is equals to x is linear function. So whatever change in x, we can directly check it for horizontal shift or vertical shift. Anything will be give you the same answer. Understood? Fine. That's it. Now these were the cases of horizontal shift and horizontal vertical shift. Okay. Now the next one transformation will be the next transformation will be third. So this transformation will be horizontal stretch. Horizontal stretch. Now see the difference between shifting and stretching. The difference between shifting and stretching. Now, shifting was simply taking something. Suppose this is x. Suppose this is shifting will be. Suppose this is here. Now simply shifting will be same thing will be this thing. Okay. So what is this? This is shifting. From here to here I have shifted. From here to here I have shifted. Now stretching will be if I am stretching these two parts. So stretching will be if I am stretching them. Okay. Or negative stretching. Understood? You understood the difference? This is stretching and this is simply shifting. From here till here I have shifted. I have moved from point to here to here. So these are shifting, and stretching will be if I'm stretching the parts. If I'm stretching the parts. So what happens with stretching? Now shifting was happening when I was adding. Shifting was happening when I was adding something. Now stretching will be when I will multiply something. When I will multiply something to the function. For example, let's see. Okay, for example, let's take simplest example, trigonometric functions. Let's take an example of sine x is equals to f of x. sin x is equals to f of x. Okay, but for log function you can take an example, you can check it by yourself. Okay, it will be exactly similar. Okay, okay, so for sin x is equals to fx. Okay, so if I am taking horizontal stretch, this means multiplying, if I'm saying multiply, that means it also implies dividing. Yeah, if I'm saying multiply, that also implies dividing. If I'm multiplying or dividing something, some constant to x. If I'm multiplying or dividing some constant to x. So now this is f of x equals to sin x, f of 2x. F of 2x. Let's see what will be the value, what will the function look like for f of 2x. F of x was sin x. So sin x curve will be something like this. Okay, let's see if we can draw the graph for f of 2x. Instead of x, you have to take 2x. So let's see if we can draw the graph of f of or sine of 2x. You have to draw now the graph of sine of 2x. Take your time, check for first 0, then check for the second 0. Check for first 0, check for second 0, just plot them. The maximum value of this will be 1, minimum value of this will be -1. Okay, so maximum minimum will not change, only the stretch, it will be stretched. Okay, so check what will be the first 0 and what will be the second 0 on the right side, on the left side. Fine. So let's see. I hope you must have drawn the first the curve. Let's see if it is correct or not. Okay. So what happens? Let's see. The first 0 of sine, it is coming out to be x is equal to 0. The sine it is coming out to be x is equal to 0. Right. So that means for 2x also this point will remain same. For 2x also this point will remain same. Fine. For original sine function, the second 0 was coming out to be at pi. X is equals to pi. Then see, let 2x is equals to pi. What is happening with 2x is equals to pi? So x should be equals to pi by 2. Okay, that means the second 0 will occur at pi by 2. Understood? So second 0 will occur at pi by 2. Let's see. First maxima of sine was occurring at pi by 2. First maxima of the original function of sine x was occurring at pi by 2. If 2x is equals to pi by 2, that means x should be equals to pi by 4. That means the new maxima will occur at pi by 4. So that means the curve will look something like this. Understood? So that means that if you are multiplying with 2, then the whole graph is stretching inwards. That means the whole graph is stretching Everybody understood? That means the whole thing x, I'm pressing inside. This whole graph has been pressed by how much? By 2x. Understood? Everybody understood? Now suppose if it was 4, then the whole graph would have been stretched by 4. If it was 8, the whole graph would have been stretched by 8. Understood? But for this one, just check the graph. For this one, just check the graph. Now again, for whatever x you are keeping, the maximum and the minimum value, will still be +1 and -1. So this thing will not change its maxima and minimum. Okay, this thing will not change its maxima and minima. Only the graph will either stretch out or stretch in. In this case, because 2 is multiplied, because a number greater than 1 is multiplied, this whole thing will stretch in. Understood? Now let's see if we can draw the graph of. If you can draw the graph of f of x is equals to sin x. Okay, this is sin x. Now let's see. F of x is equals to cos of x. Draw the graph of f of 2x. That means cos of 2x. On the same plot, first draw cos x, then on the same plot, draw cos 2x. Let's see if you can get it now. Okay, so let's draw this one also. So the cos x will be something like this. Okay, cos x will be something like this. So this is what, pi by 2. This is minus pi by 2. Okay, so now what will happen? If in this previous case we have seen that everything will shift, everything will stretch inside. By how much? By 2 pi. Okay. Now again, 0, cos of 0 will be again 1. So that means this point will still remain same. And what will happen? For first 0, it was pi by 2. So when 2x is equals to pi by 2, x is equals to pi by 4. That means now at this point, it will have its first 0. That means the graph will look something like. And at the graph will become something first 0. From here also, this will be pi by 4 and this will be minus pi by 4. Understood? Like first maxima, then first minimum. First maxima, then first minimum. And then again, at this point, it will again come back. Understood? So whole thing is stretched inside. Whole thing has been stretched inside. Okay, I hope this one is also clear. Just check everyone. Okay, fine, very good. Now see. This was trigonometric function. Let's see what will happen for some other functions. Suppose we have f of x is equals to x square. F of x is equals to x square. What will happen to such functions? What will happen in a stretch or when x is 2x or x is 3x in such functions? Now what we have to find is f of 2x. So f of 2x will become 2x whole square. That means this will become 4x square. Now the function was x square. You have to draw the function for 4x square. Let's see if you can draw it or not. Let's see if you can draw it or not. Okay, I'll check for log 1 also. I will check for log also. Check for first for this one. First you check for this one, I will draw for log also. Okay, so this is the original curve for fx is equals to x square. Fx is equals to x square. Now we know if something is multiplied, what should happen to, if something is multiplied, what should happen to the curve? It should shrink inside. It should shrink inside. So this is the curve opened up. Okay, so if I'm multiplying something to x, if I'm writing x as 2x, this should shrink inside. That means it should become something like this. So we can check. This is the new function. This is the new function which we have got. So let's see. For x is equals to 1, originally y was equals to 1. For x is equals to 1 now, what will become to y? Y will become to 4. So that means for x is equals to 1, now y is 4. So that means the curve is shifted something like this. How the curve has shifted? It has shifted inside. Or it has stretched inside. It has stretched inside. The function, the curve has stretched inside. Fine, this part is okay. Now let's see. When instead of 2x, in the same graph, instead of 2x, try to draw the graph of f of x by 2. Try to draw the graph of x by 2. So x by 2 will become x square by 4. Now it will become x square by 4. Let's see what will you get. If it is stretching inside, when we are writing 2x, it is stretching inside by 2x. Okay, then how should it stretch in case of x by 2? In case of 2x, okay, in case of 2x, this is getting inside. So in case of x by 2, how should the function look like? The new function will stretch outside. So in 2x, it is stretching inside. In x by 2, it should stretch outside. So that means and how can we verify it? For x is equals to 1. For x is equals to 1, what should be the value of y? Y should be 1 by 4. For x is equals to 1, the value of y should be 1 by 4. So for x is equals to 1, value of y should be 1 by 4. In this case, for x is equals to 1, the value of y should be 1. Value of y should be 4. So 4, 1, and 1 by 4. This everybody understood? If I had written 8x, if I had written 8x square, then the graph would be inside. If I had written x by 8, then it would have been outside. This everybody understood? This everybody understood? Fine. Just check it once. Just check it once. Then we'll check for log also. What is happening for f of log 2x or f of log x by 2? Okay. Just check it fast. So if it suppose if it is 2x by 3, then 2 by 3 is what? Greater than 1 or less than 1? 2 by 3 is greater than 1 or less than 1? It is less than 1. So we can assume that it is divided by 1.5. Then we can assume it is divided by 1.5. So it will go outside. Fine. Okay, now this is fine. Okay, now see, everything in this, it is stretching about this part, it is stretching about a fixed part. From this part it is stretching outside or stretching inside. It is from this part it is stretching outside or it is stretching inside. Understood? Inside. Fine. Okay, now see, in log functions, let's see what is happening. So suppose we have f of x is equals to log of x. F of x is equals to log of x. Okay, I will strictly recommend that please do not write anything which does not have anything to do with the class. Okay, fine. Okay, now see, now this is f of x is equals to log x. Okay, so if I had to write f of 2x, so this will become, the new function will become log of 2x. The new function will become log of 2x. Understood? Now what I wanted to do is first draw the graph of log of x. And check how will this shift. So graph of log of x will be something like this. This point is 1, 0. Now just check where this point will shift. Just check where this point will shift. But if you check for log also, log na same thing, approximately same thing will be for exponential functions also. So check for log. If you are able to get the function for log for this part, I hope that you will get for the exponential function also. But I want you to check for the log function first. Okay, now see, for first thing, that if this is equals to 1, so 2x should be equals to 1. For log 0 means for log to become 0, this thing inside thing should be equals to 1. So what will the value of x? X should be equals to 1 by 2. That means now this point is shifted towards left. By how much? 1 by 2 comma 0. Fine. Now see, one more point. Let's take one more point. So this is for log x. Let's take for log x is equals to, for this is base 2. Suppose log x base 2. So for x is equals to 2. Now for x is equals to 2, this whole thing will become 1. For x is equals to 2, this whole thing will become 1. So that means for x is equals to 2, this was equals to 1. For x is equals to, this was equals to 1 because log 2 base 2 will be 1. Fine. Let's check for 2x to be 2. Because again this is log 2x base 2. For 2x to be 2, x should be equals to 1. So now for 1 it is 2. For 1 it is 1. So that means something like this. So the graph will shift. So the graph is shifting on the left side. So the graph is shifting something on the left side. Okay, but what is happening at x tending to 0? This part and this part, at x tending to 0, this part and this part will almost be same. You cannot differentiate. Suppose x is 0.000001. X is 0.0001. Okay, and 2x will become 0.000002. Okay, just instead of 1, this will be 2. So these 2 points are approximately very close. So for this one, the stretch will be about the x tending to 0. So you can think of what is that there is a leaf like this, okay, and it is curved, and it is shifting towards it is transforming, it is stretching towards the left. So now this is stretched towards the left. It is slightly stretched towards the left. Slightly stretched towards the left. Understood? And it is stretching about which part? It is stretching about this part. So approximately, if you go keep on going down, 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 if you keep on going down, if you keep on going down, you will get these two parts almost converging to each other. Fine. So these two parts almost converging to each other. As you move down, these two parts will converge to each other. And as you move up, these parts will diverge. Understood? So you understood where this is stretching? Fine. So now this was for log 2x. I want on you to draw on the same graph for f of x by 2. F of x by 2. See, for this x is equals to 1. For this part, when x is equals to 1, this is so 1 comma 1. For this part, this point was 2 comma 1. Okay. For x by 2, so this will become log base 2 x by 2. Okay. So I will just check where this is becoming 0. Where this is becoming 0. So for this part should be 1. So this will become 0 at here. This part, it should become 0 at this point. Fine. Next, let's check when this is 2. This is 2 at x is equals to 4. This is 2 at x is equals to 4. So the graph will, for this part, it will stretch below. It will stretch below. So this will look something like this. So this is stretching outwards, and this one is this is stretching left side. So this is stretching right side. I hope this graph is okay for everyone. Just check it once. If you are getting confused in this, then I want to draw for 2x separately, for x by 2 separately, for 2x separately and x by 2 separately. Okay, everybody understood? Now let me just show you this thing. I'll plot this graph on I will plot the actual graphs on xy axis. Let's see how this is happening. Okay, just wait. I'll plot the graphs and see what is happening. I'll share the screen. Just wait. See, in this case, if I look at these three graphs, see, first, this red one is what? This red one is log x, simple log x, right? In the first case, Are you able to see the shade screen? Everyone is able to see the shade screen? Yes, okay, fine. Very good. Very good. Okay, see, what is happening? When I have log x, this part, when I have log x, this was the curve. Okay, I'll zoom it a little bit. So when I have log x, this was my curve. Okay, now when I'm drawing the curve for log 2x, so this green one is the curve for log 2x. Okay, let's see this point. This point is 1, 0. Now this left side shift is now 0.5, 0. Okay, so this whole curve is shifting towards left. Not exactly shifting, it is stretching towards left. Okay, why it is stretching and not shifting? Because if it were shifting, this part should have been something like this. Everything would have moved towards left. But if I keep on zooming, see, it is converging. Okay, so it is getting stretched from here. So it is getting stretched from here. Okay, so this was 2x. If I write for x by 2, it is moving, or it is stretching towards right. Instead of x by 2, or if I add one more curve function, this is suppose ln x divided by 8. Okay, now see, if x divided by 8, this stretches to a more extent. Okay, so this was x by 2 and this is x by 8. I hope everything is now everybody is able to understand, right? Yeah, I want you to do one thing. I want you to draw your graphs, draw the graphs of e to the power x, and log x plus 1 and log x minus 1. Okay, x plus 1 and x minus 1, so that you can check for each part how it is stretching out, or tilting in, or tilting out, if you want to say it like that, or how it is shifting to the right and shifting to the left. Okay, for different graphs, any graph you want, x cube, x square, x to the power 4, anyone, just check it how it is stretching, or how it is tilting, or how it is shifting in terms of different operations. Okay, so we'll look at different graphs in the next class. This was all for today's class. I'll show you the slides once again. I'll show you the notes once again. Just take the snapshot. Okay. Okay, that was for today. We'll continue in the next class.
Okay, thank you, Amit sir. Thank you, students. You can quickly go for a break for 5 minutes and come back soon. Thank you. Hello, sir. Hello. Hello, sir. Good afternoon.
Yes. Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Fine. Okay, I'll take care. Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, so good afternoon, students. Hope you are all having a good time. Now that you are having some perspective as to when your classes will start. So your classes are likely to start somewhere around August.